Let's bloody get on with it.
Yes, mate. Oh, I'm excited for this one. It is indeed Heet taking on Big, our opening bout, our opening best of one of today. We're going to run right into the action here. Out short, Afro, 4 points of health, whittled down to the bare bones as the Glocks of Big look to pressure towards short. A smoke towards top mid to try and create some presence, but an in-and-out job from Afro that gives them the leg up in this round.
We're getting underway in the pistol, and a great start, as we say, from Afro. Crimbo tapping away at long range, and unfortunately that's going to be an easy tap for Jax. Now the final 3 players are coming in from long. Exercise on the site now has help from short as well. Keto creeping up, trying to take a duel toward the elevator position. In comes the flash. They'll take a duel with the deep smoke in towards CT. Exercise gets that tap, but Sim with it, that P250 gets the quick trade. And now Favon, he's got one more, but they don't check body, but he misses the shots, and Sin punishes him. But it's still Favon in a clutch. That's a great tap, long range, needs to find it, but Jax and Jocko should be able to clear it up, and yes, they do. Jax gets the final kill, 3 for him on the pistol, and that's a great start for Heet.
That's a brilliant job. I think Afro's first shot, a clinic performance put on, and things got very scary in the middle of that round, right? The engagement from CT that saw a very quick exit, I do believe, in...
known in their own right.
Here we go.
Their Danish core, but look at this. We're back underway. We love it. And we have a second round to watch as well. 4 spy coming in from Big, but only with a scout, no more.
Yeah, so actually they kind of like put it off, right? They don't go for the force buy. They don't try and go for the throat of Heat in the second round. They want to wait until they can get rifles, kind of sturdy up a little bit more. Great shot from Afro to start the round off. Does get a tag in response. The counterpart for the Big, you know, the side of Big at least, the scout on their regard is putting out some damage. Not as good as Afro's initial frag. Crimbo jumping up on top of the boxes. Wanted to check towards lower. Exercise is able to respond, but in silence falls Keto and Farben as Body looks for his third. And Nade trying to score extra points for going for the trick shots. Not going to happen. Jocko's able to push in towards lower tunnels from B, and that's Heat that collects their second. Big. No responses of yet, but of course that was an eco. Now they can provide themselves with rifles.
Yeah, Heat clearly going for the style points, as you said already early on in this one. Body trying to bank it off the ground, but he was already far back into lower dark, but it doesn't matter. The scout force was the only thing that gets really, apart from, Keto's deagles, the only thing that really gets the kill. The scout doesn't do anything, unfortunately. So now we go for the proper buy round for Big. And they have full utility on 3 of their players, so it's certainly a good opening purchase. And they're already going to take deep control of mid in this one, with the Xbox smoke up, of course. Favon joining up with Keto to go for a peek toward mid, and Body and Afro looking like they want to regress as a duo up toward cap.
Dangerous games being played. Keto walks into the crosshair of Afro. Favon trades, but Body responds. So Heat walking away with a man advantage. A very early bout towards short that favours the French side.
Another good 2 for 1. Favon and Keto to drop. This Afro was taken down though. Crimbo looking for some information toward mid doors. Got Exercise and Body close up. Trying to play the headshot angle, playing around with the Xbox. I think making some noise falling off the pallet there. Body going hunting right now, but he might get caught on a rough timing. And there you go, good adjustment from Crimbo. Does get that frag, but Exercise was always there to trade it. So 2v3, Tabson working his way in towards short. Needs a pick, and he's caught Jax looking the wrong way. And now with the molly towards short, they can try and get a plant down in a 2v2. But I do believe, I think Sin is still toward, yes, he is. So they'll be able to plant open, which is a really good opportunity for them to seal this opening gun round.
On plant. A lot of question marks right now for Heat if they can make this retake stick. They've got a kit, they've got smokes, they've got flashes, so everything really that you want to be able to pull off and force a bit of an issue for Heat. A bomb plant is the first of the scenarios that they've been dunked in. The bomb time already halfway cooked as Sin finds the first of 2. It's just Jocko to try and keep them in it. Spots out the first Jocko, tapping away at the head, but taps into an eye, and it'll be a first on the board for Big, but 65 points of health the difference. A narrow margin that Big marginally escape.
Yeah, well done. As you can see, that was the duo that I mentioned. They're pushing towards short. Afro gets the opening pick, but Favon getting that 1 kill with Afro before instantly being traded was actually super important there. Just getting that 1 was enough to secure this round, and Yes, Tabson in the end seals it. The one man you'd most certainly trust in a scenario like that to seal the opener, and he makes it happen. And obviously that puts their bye for Heet in a bit of a rough spot with a scout and two MP9s in the action. But even though Tabson is using most of his utility belt to get out toward long, Body just says no and then gets an opening pick for his team.
That was a brilliant shot through the smoke there. Very nicely taken care of. Now, all just about the response, right? What a big one to do in fight or flight mode, maybe. Out towards long. Afro again playing distance. It's a scout. He's going to try and force the issue here. Force the hand of Big. Dropping a smoke in front of him. Going to try and work around it. Body, one of his own. And now a flashbang over the top. So already Heet preparing the defense in cohesion with this push that Big are trying to provide out towards the site. Afro swings around. It's a good tag. Crimbo does find the kill, but at the cost of the majority of his bar. He's got to be careful. Body through the smoke. That's Crimbo dropped, and the bomb included. Collected by the M4A1S. A second kill for Body in the round. Exercise is eliminated, but it's still at large in a 3v3.
Yeah, Body's still toward Gandalf. They have not cleared out this position yet, and that's a huge bit of information. I think they were probably aware that it was still going to be an A play, but Body's doing all the work right now. All the years of experience I mentioned, and he clears up the round beautifully, does Body. Dropping the bomb on the first of the 3 kills, and then taps down the final 2. And Big might have won the opening gun round, but Body, especially with that opening pick, which really set them off in this following one, is the perfect man for the job in that scenario. Clean taps with the silenced M4, and that gets his tally up to 8 already. And Heet will use one of their 4 tactical timeouts as well in this one to say, okay, guys, think about that round you just lost.
Yeah, so it's actually a play that we see a couple of times, right? In the sense that teams will always call for pauses when they lose rounds that shouldn't have been a round that they win, right? And it's so the other team kind of like hold that, you know, hold that L, think about it a little bit more. But also for Heet, it's probably to not get ahead of themselves, right? Why does Body need to kill every single player? Like, why isn't the response there for Heet? So definitely going to be a topic of conversation, but this is also a mental game that they're trying to play in cohesion with that tac timeout. Is Big, eat that. You just lost your full buy. Back to the pistols you go. Have some time to think about what you want to be doing.
Yeah, they're rewarded with their round against pistols now, of course, as well. Keto had a nice 1 dig in the eco round we saw earlier. Means we need a few more if Bigger to make any progress in this one. Jax creeping his way toward the long corner, and there's the opening tags from Exercise's Scout. Sticking with that, with Afro on the AWP, of course, as well. So we'll know that Afro is a great AWPer, but I'll tell you what, it doesn't matter if you're a great AWPer when you just get destroyed like that. What did I say about Keto's Deagle? Body will whiff his HE grenade as well, which does do a little tiny bit of chip damage to himself. Hopefully shouldn't make too much of an issue. Bomb actually will go down, so that's the main success of this round completed. Sure, it's a clean round for Heet. They only lose that AWP, which they will be able to recover, but with what they had, I think Big will be delighted with the plant there.
Jocko, stop giving fist bumps. There's an M4 in CT. Yeah, okay. I don't know. Are we going to go for the gun? I'm pretty certain that was an M4 in CT, right? Because to pick up the AWP, Body dropped one. Maybe a teammate upgraded that I didn't see, but ultimately, yeah, it was a really nice shot here to open the round as well. It's a whole different story if that AWP stayed on short, by the way, because they closed the gap, as you say here. Body whiffs the nade. They're able to close it completely up. The gap towards site, they get a plant. That could have been an AWP that plays from range, holding the cross, holding the site. It gets very, very different here. But yes, ultimately, it's Heet with a 4th round. And well, in the first 5, Heet have showcased their success with 4, but this is big chance as they bring forward rifles.
Yeah, it needs to show. At least, you know, a good amount of T rounds. It can be very rough. Starting, of course, on T in BO1s in the first game after all the travels, of course, that Big have done. I don't want to make excuses for them, but they are legitimate ones. And of course, it's only very early days, so I think that 1 round, of course, was important thanks to Tabson. But as they won that 1v1, of course, winning with just 1 player alive, it does hurt their economy. So that's what they're on to an eco directly after that. Bomb plant was a success. Jack's playing around pit at the moment and using the smoke to his advantage at the moment. Head toward blue box. I think he might have just been spotted over the top of it. Tabson checks it, makes doubly sure. And he'll go down. And there we go. Body's trying to trade off the back of it, but Exercise's flash is a little bit delayed, I think, there. It doesn't really affect the AWP of Keto at all. And now we're actually getting an answer as to who's going to be AWPing on Big, of course, as well, with the lack of Searson due to illness. So it looks like Keto is taking up the mantle early on, which is good to know.
Maybe it's one they put in rotation, though, Trav. I'm wondering if it's going to be Keto on all maps. Maybe, you know, does maybe Sim want to pick it up for something? I don't know. Maybe they've been trying things. Maybe they want to switch it up a bit. But for now, you are right. Keto using it. Is he successful? Well, no, because Afro spots out the arm. It's a great shot at range, but up close goes Tapson. His AK finding Afro, so now AWP for AWP out removed. Jocko's gone, and with that, I think it's just exercising the 1v3, and he realizes all too well, my odds in this round are nothing. I might as well get out of dodge here. I've got the M4, I've got Kevlar, I've got Kit. So actually, you know, while it looks good to maybe try and set yourself up for a kill or two on the exit, it's better kept into the next round here, because that's a lot of money that you save. And when finances are looking as poor as Heat right now, they need every dollar they can get.
Exactly. Exercise, important to save this M4, or at least go for an exit, because there was obviously a big difference between 3 players staying alive and just 2. Big would have to repurchase a lot more, and Exercise knows that, so just waits outside long doors at the moment. And I don't think Big will be giving him anything. I think they know that winning with 3 players alive and keeping that money as strong as possible is very important. Sin has picked up the AWP. If he drops it to Keto, we know Keto is going to be the man taking the AWP for the majority of this one. We shall see. Faven has it this time, and he'll stick with it. So there we go. You never know, guys. Right now, it is a big unknown, of course, this big roster. That actually, you never know, may even work to their advantage. Just being a different team to look at to their opponents. Of course, lack of citizens can only be a bad thing, but we all know that most players are pretty capable on the AWP. There's only really a few that I can think of from Counter-Strike history that really struggled on the AWP compared to the rifle. Jax will spot some information toward long. He'll just about get around the angle before he goes down. Damage taken to both Keto and Sin in this one. So good damage from Heat early on to keep them at least with an HP advantage at the moment.
Yes, certainly a trade-off. Maybe Heat are happy taking. A lot of the time we're seeing Afro on this scout. We saw him on the AWP for what, like a couple of rounds? Straight back down to the SSG-08. Unfortunate. Going to try and take the fight here with Keto, but wandering into that angle, I don't think you're ever going to win it, right? Especially when Keto's got an AWP, you just post on the angle, you sit, you wait, you pull the trigger, and there's no way you lose out on the opening duel. So Heat down to 4, but yet again, this is where you turn to Body. This is where you maybe turn to a Jax as well, with experience and a lot of time on the helm with the M4s. Is this going to be an opportunity for Heat to convert 5, or a Big going to continue to close the gap?
Exercise holding this angle on top of Xbox in mid, actually. Not often you see this being played, and actually it will catch out Crimbo. Takes a dink for his troubles, though. Now Tabson working his way up long with the rest of his team. Bit of a flashbang coming in. That's a good damage, and there you go. Body once again, multi-frag. So many kills from him early on in this game. Lovely tap from Tabson towards CT, but there's a lot more work to do, and now his teammate Keto's been taken out. It's a Tabson clutch, and he needs 2 more players. He's tapping away. He needs to recover the bomb, though. 15 seconds. Going for the duel. Does damage, but not to be. Nice try, Tabson, but it's Heat to take their 5th.
Body's got 14 kills in 7 rounds, by the way. Just want to bring up the numbers a little bit here for the Heat side, because they've had a cracking performance so far in an individual basis on Body in this best of 1. Again, holding down the site. Had a Keto of killed Body there. This is a 2v2, right? This is a completely different story, a completely different look in the round. 1 engagement. Body wins it yet again, providing success towards A. And now maybe Big want to switch up the approach. We haven't seen much towards B, and this time it's lower push that starts off this round.
Yeah, a little bit more to work with than their previous EKs, of course, as they did win that previous. They've got a bit of armor, a bit of a helmet, of course, and a couple of players as well. Long range spotted by Afro, tagging a few players with the smoke. They actually made their way in toward B a lot quicker than I think maybe Heat were expecting. They recover well, but Faven, welcome back to the big roster, Faven. That's 2-1 digs, and you never know. Guns can be recovered. It's the B site of DUST2, the most difficult site to retake in possibly all of Counter-Strike. This is possible.
100%. Always talk about it, an issue, that B site. Body finding the first, though. Faven and Crimbo 2v3. This is where you have to get gimmicky. A flashbang that sends some Heat players into disarray. A flank from Jax. Crimbo's back turned, but it is safe, tucked away. Peak coming out over the top.
Nice shot.
Crimbo will peek. Nice shot. Jax follows up. And indeed, there is a third round denied. But Big with a bomb plant, extra cash. That's all they wanted in this round. They only have pistols. Next round, they have rifles.
Yep, exactly. That round was really, in the end, hung on Crimbo, making some damage with that picked up M4. Tried to play the headshot angle. It's a smart way to go about it, but Body too accurate once again. Body is having a monster of a start at the moment. Big looking calm, looking relaxed, knowing that that was a pretty decent round. Won't be unhappy with the progress they made, considering what they had. And Faven with the AWP once again, going for the pick toward long. Flashes will be coming in. Jack's very blind on long corner. He will fluff a bit of his util because of that. Flash comes in, and that flash actually almost creates the opportunity for Faven to pull the trigger as it pops and take down Jax. But in the end, he avoids the shot. Lots of damage taken in the opening exchanges.
Yeah.
Sin down to 41, Body down to 26 after that as well.
Definitely is a bit ropey for both sides at the start of number 9. Heat certainly going to be looking for a way back in. Afro, what's going on? What was the game plan there? He's just switched an M4A1S for an M4A1S. Maybe just like the skin. He was confident.
Yeah,
I think he traded it with Body as well, right? He's like, yo, dude, give me your power. Give me your M4. I need some kills.
Here we go.
Flashes are in. Great shot. Jax able to spin around. A nice first headshot found. Looking for more as well. Jax,
yes.
Great shot. This is more like it for Jax. He sticks around for more as well as Exercise chimes in from another from middle. Crimbo and Sin 2v4 and Big. The domino effect. You lose one, you shall lose them all, it seems. As Body now patiently waits over the top of the smoke, lurking and looming at large as Jax decides to back away. 28 seconds left for Big to make their final push, and the bomb comes from long. Jax, the big man, needs to step up once again.
Yeah, he's had a great round so far. He'll be hearing the footsteps in a second or so coming up the ramp. Jax, his form has been a little bit rough as of late, but this is a beautiful round from him. Those 2 taps toward Cat were glorious. And the second one especially to remove Fathom from the equation was particularly nice. AWP gone. Crimbo realizes that there's no point throwing his AK away, and he'll go back to T-spawn at 2 saves. So this is looking great for Heat to kick us off. Smiles across the board. Body looking confident. Fist bumps are in. Great round from Jax. 3 kills for him. Nice carpet as well.
I like it. we enjoy the carpet. Good selection. Mine's just a boring grey one, so
exactly.
Anything over the top. I like this, by the way. I'm all too used to the majors where, like, you know, coaches aren't allowed to interact, not allowed to just, like, basically talk. Pointless in general. But I guess I'll keep my personal opinion aside. Nice to see everyone's getting a bit vocal, right? We see both coaches standing, both coaches giving fist bumps, both coaches just providing insight. That 6th man that we always like to talk about. Just stand up, have a chat, give fist bumps, just try and provide the hype and the power. Big desperately need it at this point in time because already starting to scramble maybe a little bit here on the T side. And for their opening game in a matchup that I think a lot of people would have them to win, maybe that's the spark that they need. Crimbo, ice in his veins, and a one-tap that puts everyone in awe.
Sit down, Body. The one man you probably want to take down as well. The long player's had so much action, of course, so far in this game. Body 16 and 5. Well, he's been deleted by the hero AK of Crimbo. And that's a free M4. Jax has destroyed Tabsons. That's at least a good response. 4v4. Afro needs to retreat. He's going to get peeked from ramp if he's not careful. Sin tries to take his time on the shot, but doesn't make it happen. Crimbo hits another as well toward Afro, so that is a couple of players removed already. Jax on the line towards short above that smoke. Sin can get the bomb planted. Rifle picked up. Sin playing around the smoke next to Jocko right now as well. Looking for the frag, can't make it happen. But Crimbo is still alive, and he's having himself a round right now. Faven finds Jocko, and out of nowhere, it's all down to Jax. 1v2, 1 kill already. But Crimbo is proving to be a man on a mission in this round. Jax creeping in, both players toward long, 1 player pit, hardest shot to hit in the game, and Faven finishes it off. There's no way you're tapping him down from that range, and that's a glorious round from Big.
Get hyped, Big. That's more like it. What a way back in. Oh, that's a brilliant shot. Watch it again. spots the leg or like the arm as he gets into the smoke, and Crimbo just traces him down. That is such nippy aim, a brilliant first shot, and a catalyst for the round success, right? I feel like that's very different if the kill goes the other way. Bigger man down on long, smokes are in their way, every opportunity just kind of fizzles out a little bit. Now it's Heet with their hands are tied.
Yeah, it's those sort of rounds that can be a game changer, especially in a BO1 stage as well. Big swing rounds like that, especially if Big can take advantage of it now and get Heet onto a proper eco rather than a full force buy. Afro can still have his AWP. There's a Deagle, a 5.7 and a couple of MP9s as well. They can avoid this force and they're in a good spot. Jax plays around with the smoke toward long and it's a bloodbath toward mid. Afro's AWP is getting all the work done at the moment. 4 kills. Sure, he goes down to the molly, but who gives a damn? In the fire and flames, Heet make it happen.
And they picked up a second AWP as well. I'm not sure if that was meant to be or if it was just a mistake. But indeed, they picked up a second one at the end of that one. So I'm wondering, right, are we now going to see something aggressive towards long and middle? It's Afro and Exercise that have whipped them both up. Plenty of util, plenty of rifles, and opportunities like nothing now that Heet can start to run away with this game. Crimbo, the lone man with a rifle. Everyone else on Mac 10s and pistols. It's a fast play towards B. It's a test for Jocko, and he needs to be able to pass it. His answer is there with a first. Exercise is second, and a B push halted by a smoke as Exercise finds more. It's clean, it's clinical, and it's Heet looking for 9 as it's Crimbo against 4.
Yeah, no chance. Crimbo has that picked up AK that they had, and he will at least be able to find Jocko, but he needs a lot more. And now he's down to 45 points of health as well. Lovely tap onto an Exercise. That removes one of the AWPs at least. And he can continue to play headshot angles, but there's no way Body's going to peek before Jax gets into the action. Bombs in the middle of the site, of course, as well. Body is holding the door. Jax is holding a window peek. This is the perfect crossfire, just to wait and be patient. They're happy to let Crimbo have a plant here, if necessary. Doors, of course, not being watched, so they can cross, but Body now hears everything. Crimbo continuing to try and play headshot angles so he doesn't get taken with the body shot. Only one bullet required either which way of it will take him down, even in the pinky toe. Will be the end. Goes for the fake plant on the edge of the site, on the little ridge there, but no more for him. And it's a good cleanup from Heet in the hectic mess of a B rush.
Fist bumps all around. Yet again, trying to hype these Heet players up, because I think Big are realizing the setting that they've been put in, the climate that they have to deal with here is, hold on a second, what is this side of Heet and where has it come from, right? You're 9 for 3 on the CT side as of right now. That's what, 9 out of 11 rounds? 12 rounds, sorry, maths, nice one. Point standing,
never do
right?
maths on stream.
No,
it's the number one rule.
I got an E and A level maths. Like I completely am open to the idea that I am terrible at maths, like awful. So an excuse. But I was going to say, right, 9-3, 12 rounds played, 9 wins on the CT side. Heat have really set themselves up nicely here to be able to take down Big, and we were talking about the influence that this matchup has. Big have a response. Sin and Keto, 2 kills out towards long.
Yeah, of course, we mentioned that, Big are most certainly the better team on DUST2. They've played against the better teams as well, the likes of Na'Vi, B&E as well. But you have to take into consideration that Heat, confidence-wise for them, closing out games recently, especially in a studio, has not necessarily been one that they're most confident with. DUST2 has been a bit of an iffy one. They've lost some convincing ones to the likes of Falcons as well recently. So getting a good start to this game was certainly important for them. But if Big can grind out 5 or 6 rounds maybe on this T half, then I would still favour them going on to CT, to be honest. They're going to grind out this one, that's for sure. 2 picks is enough. Heat, despite the fact they have a 9-3 lead, look at the money. It's nowhere, they have to say.
Yeah, I think Big have done a decent job in terms of the damage, right? When they've been winning, it's been a lot of players taken out of rounds. And when they've been losing, at least some of the rounds have been very close. A lot of times where only 2-3 players are surviving and where, you have to drop each other. You have to basically dig into your own pockets that little bit more, and you're starting to see the holes cracking a little bit more so. As indeed it is a 4th round on the board for Big, and maybe there is a chance, considering you're on the T side as well. If you take the rest, if it's 9-6, like, that's still pretty respectful. That's still pretty good.
Absolutely. No reason to panic whatsoever It's early doors in this opening BO1, and it's early doors in the entire event as well. Shots of Espoo at the moment. Heat players are getting a talking to. As I mentioned, of course, in the pre-game, this is probably the event for Heat where they need to make something happen. Unfortunately, in the group they're in, I would say on current form, they're probably the 5th best out of 6, which is a little bit rough for them, but they obviously have the quality that can prove to get you through these BO1s very often. And yeah, it's been a bit rough for them, but you never know in this sort of stage. Plenty of BO1s to come. This is just the first of 4 big BO1s that we'll be covering today. It will be mostly Big Clan on this stream until later on this afternoon. If you want to keep on track with Ents, I think mostly B stream for a lot of the Ents matches. So just add a B at the top of your screen on the link. You can find the other matches going on at the moment in Group A. Body toward top mid. It's an opening spray down. Taps and quick on the trade, and that's a lovely peek toward lower. Exercise given no chance there by Crimbo. Favon got one of his as well. And that leaves Jax and Jocko left. And I tell a lie. No, it is just Jax. And just like that, what did we say? Retro? Big? Fighting back right now.
Yeah, we did kind of have the idea that that was going to be the case, right? I think once you break the bank account a little bit, once the money gets drawn out, you start to see the very obvious things happen, right? Where Big look a little more in control, Heat have to scramble a little bit more. So all in all, it's a pretty respectful time now for Big, even if they are to lose the last, right? 10-5, still recoverable, and so yeah, I think that we still have decent chances here for Heat. See if they can prevail with a 10th, make it double digits, push them to the half-time whistle with a 5-round gap, or if that deficit will continue to shrink and Big continue to perform.
Yeah, we're getting through our tactical timeouts early on in this first half, of course. It being a BO1, you want to try and get as much information into this map as possible. So I can understand that one. Both Heat and Big using a couple of theirs. And round 15 getting underway. The final round of the half. And what did we say about the money? Well, Heat's buy is unfortunately a bit of a mess. Mag 7 on Exercise, Scout on Afro, and Eagles on the remaining 3 of Jax, Body, and Jocko. I remember when I was casting the opening editions of this Heat roster, when it was called Double Pony, of course.
Yeah.
Tried playing with NBK, tried playing with Jax, of course, even as a stand-in for a Cash Cup, even back then. Talking about a couple of years ago now. This team were very good on the Deagle rounds, I'll give you that. So you never know. It looks like they're posturing toward long. Big to go for a bit of a play. Afro playing above the smoke, looking for an opening pick, and that's a glorious way to do it. Gets a second as well. And that is some way to get a 5v3.
Where has that been? Right out the back pocket of Afro, the scout, while vacant. Pops right back in. Sticks his head out on long and takes 2 of them clean off their shoulders. Favon and Tabson out of the round. Afro as well challenged, another tag. The scout doing wonders. Exercise only needs to hit a few body shots to convert the frag. We're down to 2. Sin and Keto, everything on the plate. 35 seconds left on the clock. The smoke going to be used in. This is just to try and cross towards Car. Give the headshot angle over. Sin's going to try and take face, but with only an AWP and an AK against the entirety of this Heat side, you can only feel that this goes one direction.
Whoa.
Sin and Keto, both with kills in the dying embers of round 15. Maybe there's enough left in them to try and find it. Keto now in the 1v2. Molly on site, 10 seconds left, draws the fight. Keto, it's a game of time now. Jocko does look to play chicken, but the bomb plant, there is enough time. And now look to close the gap. The Deagle drawn, AK out, and no way. Keto does it. That's a brilliant last round. Big.
Certainly had a great chance to close that, but he had to do it with the clock up against him. And that's what made it so impressive. Gives a big, critical 6th round on the board. And as we get underway in the second half, Big switch to CT, and utility is pretty well brought up on both sides. Jax, grenade, Molly, Afro, smoke, flash, Crimbo on a smoke and flash of his own as well. But no defuse kit, I believe, on the big side. So if Heet get a plant, they're in pole position.
He could be looking to go that way. Keto, first shot, connects Dancing on the site, still alive and kicking. Has seen his teammate there for support. And Big just pluck Heet apart despite a brilliant and a significant lead. A pistol round seems to fizzle all the hard work out. It should be 9-7. And that could get daunting. It's body against 5 to try and keep Heet alive and to give them double digits.
I had the privilege of casting a 1 versus 5 yesterday, but I don't think it'll be happening this time, and Tabson most certainly says no to that one. Perfect start to the CT side for them. Saw Tabson giving Keto a good old-fashioned elbow bump at the end of that first half after his clutch. And that's the perfect way to start off on CT. And Big most certainly have been a CT team on this map as of late, so they're good at grinding out the T rounds, but you have to say they're most certainly leading by a few tenths at the moment, despite the fact they are 9-7 behind. They have a free path to 8, with Heet deciding to full eco to get the AKs in the third. That is the way it should be. 4 M4s in this round.
Yes, so it's looking pretty stacked for the big side, for the Glocks of Heet. A kill, maybe. I think a bomb plant is a big push for a Glock here. We'll see. Sin, good damage. Farvent hits support, just holding each other's hands, really, on the mid doors, just making sure none of them go down, keep the weapons alive. Farvent's able to back away, considering he's 7 points of health, and the MP9 and M4 combo from Crimbo and Tabson to give Big number 8. Heet, of course, with a full buy in this one. But that's to try and keep themselves in front, otherwise it will be tie game heading into number 18.
Absolutely. Important round coming in. First buy round, of course, on the T side. Occasionally, when you do go for this strategy, it can be a little bit limited on utility, but with the, of course, the damage they got in the previous, they're going to have at least some, and it's enough. They have 4 smokes and all the flashes they need to get out toward long, and that's often the best strategy on the opening gun round. Just get some map control at least early on, then you can just play the mind games after that. Big, of course, will have some counter to that, probably a molly for blue box as well if they want to fight for it. They might know that a couple of players are stuck behind there. They see the smoke, and Jocko gets a lovely opener. Cinnamon's always going to be there to trade, but of course now he knows, or does he know? Oh, he pulls out utility at the worst possible time. Afro pounces for a second, really important way to get an advantage. Favin close toward mid, MP9 close up, only hits a dink, and actually Exercise took one in the meantime behind him as well. So after that, it's all down to Tabson. He runs into Afro, and that's a beautiful clean round for Heet on the AKs.
So some change, some differing pace. You can see the mind starting to whir over at the big camp. I think for they themselves know this game far from over, and they've got a brilliant chance now. They're on that CT side, second best in the previous, and so for this round they're punished, they're penalised. It's, you know, P250s, 5.7s, Deagles, the pick a mix of pistols here, just attempting to do some damage here to the Heet side. I don't think a round win is on the cards just yet. This molly to force them back. It's a multi-push and a couple of kills. This is getting dangerous. I think the sparks are flying, but should be fizzled out here from Heet, despite a couple of kills going the big way. The threat for the mostly at large at least neutralized, but a couple of these players very, very low, and a Mac 10 through the smoke seriously could be the difference.
Yeah, and Favin's actually found one of those. Jax will go down, and already there's a rotation coming in toward the A bomb site just to make doubly sure you have one player on A as well. So at the moment, Body creeping up short. Will he catch the timing? That's the thing. Oh, he has. That's unfortunate for Keto. He was checking toward long, not towards short, and now that puts Favin in a tough spot. That could have been the big turning point frag. Favin has Kevlar and has a smoke, so you never know. If he can actually get at least one frag back quickly, which is possible, considering Exercise is only 31 points of health, then you never know. They'll both cross, and they'll both be safe off the back of that. Molly's in towards short to hold players off in case they're coming in on the rotation, but Favin will be up here pretty quickly now. One will go down. Hop on the edge of the ledge, goes for the first kill, and there we go. That's the high HP player as well in Body. It's just Exercise left, and he's fumbling around with the angles at the moment, jumping around the position, and now he's down to 5 HP, but he still hits the headshot. Oh, that was a nervy one from Exercise, but he hit the shot when it mattered.
I think the faces of Heet say it all, is that round should never have been that close. The fact that we've won it is a flush of relief.
Yeah.
And that was relentless from Big. The fact that we even got down to such a narrow margin, right? Got to be careful. Very, very careful.
Oh.
Great shot from Exercise, but that
Need
killed
one
the
bullet.
difference. Exactly. The difference is that 11-8. Heet 5 away from winning their opening matchup, but for Big, a very impressive eco gives them a lot of hope and willingness to push forward here in round number 20.
It could be a huge BO1, or a huge round, I should say, in this BO1 for Big to lose. Winning cheeky ones like that can make such a huge difference. Really nice try from Favon, of course. Back in the action. He has been the player to take up the AWP mantle, which is interesting. Of course, we're going to see Big in 4 separate BO1s, including this one today. So it's interesting to see him being on the AWP. We saw how good his rifling is, and often can be. Unfortunately, even though he took down the high HP player in Body, like I mentioned, he couldn't find Exercise. Lots of damage done early on. That spray through mid-doors actually almost took Body out of the round, but Heet has a smoke to play with as well. It looks like Heet are moving up toward the B bomb site. So much damage being done, but no kills yet. It might shock Favon as they come toward B.
Really nicely done, Keto and Favon. Okay. All the kills between them into the meat grinder go Heet. And that is a brilliant display of excellence that give themselves narrower margin to work with. Flashes at large. Sin does a brilliant job with the opening flash blinding Exercise. And from there, Keto is just able to spam around the edges of the smoke, and it's significant damage.
I was setting you up for the B play as they came in there, and then halfway through it, all the kills came through the smoke. I was hoping for a bit of explosive entries, but it didn't come through.
I was going to say, like, I'm not too sure what Heat's game plan was there. I wasn't paying attention all too much to the utility that they were throwing, but I'm pretty certain there wasn't too many pieces of utility thrown in terms of taking people off angles, right? Like, the flashes have been very, very minimal. In that play specifically, it felt like one flashbang from Big kind of derailed the entirety of that push. And so maybe, this is the chat that Heat need to have, is like, guys, I like the idea of a B play. 100% we could punish them for it. However, we've just got to make sure we're a little more potent on these plays, because one misstep like that, and it's just cost us a whole full buy.
Exactly. Exactly. It's a big deal because, of course, look what it puts them down to now. They're going to go for a hero AWP, which I do like. I say hero AWP. They are buying around it, but that's the only gun they really have. As you can see, Jack's kind of sacrificing himself in this round to buy up the utility for his team. So they don't have too much to work with. Afro just going straight up for the duel, and he wins it against Favon. And that might be something that he might look to obviously exploit, considering Favon isn't necessarily the AWPer, as we all know. So it's an out with COVID. Shame for him after performing so well at the major. Great opening pick.
Important as well. Side lesser weaponry. Need now to force the hand of Big. German finger seems to be placed on defending this ace site. Got to be careful because flashes. Oh, how many of them are there? It's just relentless on the site. Body gonna try and press the issue a little bit more. Tapson and Keto both with kills, and the other pieces just kind of slot into place as they do indeed get rid of the threat of this round. Nice shot from Body, 2 with the deagle already in this round, as he's kind of edging himself around the top of the smoke. Tapson could be next to fall. Ill fate to the Deagle. Oh my Body, God. It's close. 1 bullet the difference. Body's Deagle could strike once more. Could strike in favour of Heat, but no. Tapson with ice in his veins holds on for dear hope. And Body, what could have been the round of the tournament within the first half hour of this entire event, fizzled out completely. Oh my words.
Body Oh, body. That was
He's
so
23
close.
and 13.
He's 23 and 13. The IGL right now is absolutely leading the way. I mentioned the years of experience that he has. I think it's really showing right now at a new studio event, of course. That was unbelievable. And the fact that Tabson had to hit a USP shot as well. He had the AWP.
Yes,
It's not like he could rifle him out of the round. It's the fact that he had to go to the pistol to clean that up. Hey, yo. That was almost, as you say, one of the rounds of the tournament in the first BO1. And thankfully, Tabson getting that USP headshot rewards big with what should be an equalizing round here. Heet fully ecoing, of course, off the back of that force buy. That could have been a totally different story.
Body, 1 point of health exercise at 15. Jax has been tickled a little bit as well. Big ultimately should be winning this round. Very nice attempt from Body in the previous. I'm hoping all the NT spam came out in the Twitch chat then.
It did, I can assure you.
That could have been a... honestly, that round changes the entire outcome of this game as well, right? Like, seriously, close to losing out to the Deagle the way they did. 11-10.
If they lost it, it would have been in the highlight reel at least, that's for sure. But only if they lost it. Which in the end, Body couldn't complete it. Unfortunately, the Deagle shots were glorious, but not to be. And let's talk about Deagle shots. Okay, Afro. Tabson given no chance on that one. Thankfully, though, Sin is helped out by his mate Crimbo. Nice flashbang. And the high fives come in. Sin has really been, I've got to say, a bit of a hype man, hasn't he? We saw him at the major really being the man to go for the high fives, go for the slaps. He loves the slaps. Respect.
It's like the Dexter approach, right? And I was going to say drop as well. I remember, like, those two specifically just love, like, crushing hands, especially Dexter, right? Like, it's nice to see as well that he brings the hype in the sense that maybe Big haven't really appealed to me as a team that show a lot of the hype, right? So, I don't know, they like to get a bit vocal, but 100%, it's nice to see fist bumps so frequent. Keto taking a 1-for-1. Jocko fights his way out from the blue container, though, and a double kill that sends Big into lockdown.
1v3, Jocko walking wounded though, of course, and now he could be in a bit of trouble. Has to escape, but even though that smoke is deployed, he can't escape. So recovers it into a 3v3. All 6 players full health, and Body now will take some map control, pushing out mid doors. 2 players on the A site still. That could be a good opportunity for Body to make some progress happen. He now knows that Favin is probably the only player on B. He sees the glowing rifle on tunnel, and as if to say, okay, that's definitely one kill of mine with a gun dropped on the ground. Favin, he's aware of the possibility of a player coming in through mid. Body's just holding him out right now. This is absolutely a standoff on this B bomb site. Favin's not made any noise, and Body keeps it silent as well. And that silence means that Favin has no clue, and that's the B bomb site open for business.
Okay. 2v2. Okay, 2v1. I'll shut up now. Body, great job on the AWP. A 3K in the round, securing his 26th kill in 23 rounds. Body's having a great game. An unbelievable display from him. One way to set the bar here. He now an arm's reach away, maybe one finger placed on the 1-0 scoreline, and we see everyone getting a bit vocal now over at Big. Something needs to change. We're at the lower hand, and we're on pistols.
Yep, and it's not no money available for any sort of buy in this one. Hugely impactful round again from Body. How many multi-kills has he had so far in this game? Even ones that have been unsuccessful. He's been unbelievable. And you could just see the cogs turning, right? Body should check the corner. Should check the corner. Check the corner, Body. Oh, after everything good you've done, you don't check the corner? Come on. But anyway, yeah, it's pretty insane like how many rounds has been solely down to him as well. I mean, that play, you could just see the cogs turning and what he wanted to do. He wanted to walk through mid. He realized that there were 2 more players toward A. And once Favin got that shot toward tunnel in the end, Favin getting a kill is unfortunately his downfall because it reveals his position and lets Body creep up toward him. So, in the end, that was the perfect way to play it. 4v4 though in this following round. Keto's got himself the AK, so you never know here.
I wonder where he wants to put himself on the map. Obviously, he's got Sin holding from top middle, but AK are probably best used in the midst of the mayhem, right? Where you poke it up over the top of sight, have a look, see what's going on. Maybe just post on a more passive angle. And see, because Big have committed all of their resources, it feels like, out towards A. Unfortunately, Exercise has just shifted through to B, tapping away at the CT players, and this is looking pretty good right now. I think Heet are going to have themselves another great display of aim here from Exercise. A Galil, quite unorthodox to be able to do that, because I fucking hate the Galil.
You're a Galil hater, are you?
Mate, the FAMAS is so much better. I don't want to hear any talk about it. The FAMAS is better than the Galil.
This is the worst opinion I've heard in throughout the whole major cycle. We ended the major cycle and people have gone insane. You think the Galil's worse than the FAMAS?
Absolutely.
Come on, brother. Oh, no. 35 bullets, got more armor penetration than M4A4? Come on.
I don't know how we're even talking about M4A4. Like, that gun also sucks. Like, I've got it equipped right now, trying to give a reason as to why. Mate,
I'm a Galil lover. I'm sorry. I'll agree to disagree with you on that one. All right.
Do you know what? I can see why people love it, because I think, you know, the amount of ammunition that it has, the amount of rounds it has in the mag, right, like in the clip.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. For me, maybe I'm just bad, Travis. Maybe, you know what? I think it is that.
Mean?
I just
You reached level 10 recently.
Yeah, but again, like, I don't know. Maybe it's bad.
No, realistically.
Yeah, no. Take Silver Opinion, Wrong Opinion, Galil better than FAMAS.
Yeah, Galil is better every day of the week. But realistically, even though we've got level 10 opinions, level 10 kind of sucks anyway. So there you go. True. Level 10 is nowhere near any sort of professional level. So we do not deserve to hear our opinion on that one. But we do understand the game, and that's why we're here. I hope you've been enjoying the cast so far. FAMAS on Sin. We'll see if we can prove me wrong with that one. It's got a bit of utility, but really the Big's utility is the issue at the moment. They only have the nade, the incendiary, and the smoke left. They could be under pressure in this situation, and Jocko's dropped in towards CT. Massive. Does Sin know that? I think he's creeping towards the smoke, but whether he has the information is a complete unknown. And Jax will take him over the top of that smoke. 20 seconds to go. Where's the choice?
Nowhere by the feels of things, because Farman and Keto locking down B. The bomb, sure in late commitment, but it's Afro against the rest. Eagle is drawn. Keto, do you dare peek your head? You do, but at perfect time, Afro takes his attention off the angle for half a second, and they are able to penalize. It is indeed another round on the board. We go deeper into the game. A late play, a late burst from Heet out towards middle there. Just couldn't quite turn it into a B play and get themselves another.
Yeah, that round really looked like it would be a Heet favored round, to be honest. I mean, they probably would have felt like they were in such a good situation there with Jocko and CT and Jax getting that entry. But in the end, the headshot angles are too hard to find. And of course, that angle that you can play like on the pillar of the car roof on the B-bomb site is sometimes really hard to find the headshots. So in good positions being held by Big. Got to play those advantageous angles when you're on CT, give yourself the best chance possible. There's the legend God B.
I like it. Look at like, do you know what this feels like? Like inspirational speech where he's like, the arm movements are really exaggerated. He's like, forceful finger being pointed, open palm hands, talking to his teammates. Guys, we need to start winning rounds. We need to convert. The clap of like the back of your hand into the palm of the other, you know,
yes,
like
exactly.
He's proper giving it. He's saying like we need to buck up some ideas. We're losing, but there's every opportunity that Big can take this game. And it's as much of a coin flip now as it was at 0-0.
Absolutely right. We're almost ascending to a short match now when it comes to how close this is. By coming in from Heet is Orplus. Afro is on the scout alone. A fast movement speed with that, of course, as well. But Keto on the Orp of himself with Faven. Primary and secondary. With the lack of Sis, and Keto is now very stuck toward Car. Surely he'll get wallbanged at some point here. He's not going to put out that Molotov. Tries to go for the frag. Takes Jax, but there's a wallbang. The Car It's most certainly not bulletproof. Straight through the window, Jocko takes him out. Exercise still lurking toward mid doors. There are 3 players on the A bomb site right now. Are they going to double swing this? It looks like they might do. In comes the swing. Tabson, though, went alone, unfortunately. And he gets taken out by Jocko. Now Favan's under a lot of pressure.
Going to relieve some of it by dropping the smoke, and actually wants to go on the offensive, wants to work around it. From short goes Exercise, but it's a missed shot. Got to be careful because Sin as well fluffs his line. He had the flank, but now Exercise will try and take phase. And limited time on the clock as Sin finds Exercise. Now the gap starts to close. Big need to get space, otherwise they'll be suffocated by Heet. And a nice shot from Jocko to relieve more pressure. But Crimbo from Spawn. Crimbo from Spawn finding a double. And it's just Jocko left here in the clutch. Taps the bomb. Dances around the smoke. Crimbo's looking for more.
Oh my goodness. He's trying to find it, but that's a shot and a half from Jocko. And look at the damage he's done to Sin. 10 HP, but again, a low HP player in a clutch that you think maybe would not win it. It does come out on top. We saw it with Exercise earlier. I guess maybe now we're 1-1 Retro off the back of that. Sin hits a ridiculous shot and keeps big level in this game.
How
did that
close
miss?
did each round get? Yeah.
God.
How close do they all fall? 13 all. Heet will call their 4th and final timeout. 30 seconds, your last batch of it. What is going wrong? Where do we need to fix?
That is big from Sin. Huge stuff from Sin. I mean, I mentioned earlier, of course, in the pre-game that, you know, on Big Academy, he was more in like the star player role, especially when we saw Big Academy play at like Fragadelphia, for example. He was fragging out. He was absolutely loving life. But when obviously you, unfortunately, due to the illness of Favan and the major cycle, had to be called up to the main squad, he probably wasn't going to be, considering the skill, of course, on the main big roster, he was never going to be thrust into the best roles. So he was put into like the B anchor roles, the stuff that was a lot harder for him to deal with. He played relatively okay at the major, and they had decent results considering all of that. And he is now certainly one for this roster for the future. Don't get me wrong. Don't be surprised if you see him sticking on this roster in the future, because Big almost certainly be wanting to keep him around if he keeps this sort of form up. And now, oh, okay, that's a shot and a half from Jocko. I was about to say Big could have an opportunity here to make their way up to 14, but Heat don't want to let that slip just yet.
An unrecoverable gun. But it does leave Bigger Man down in a round, as you said, that with lesser weaponry is the gimmicks that stick. And a 5v4 scenario certainly could be looking good. Sin patiently waiting the mid pressure. Starting to be alleviated now by the M4A1S. Jocko turns the corner. And it'll turn a new chapter in this game, because his chapter here in number 27 draws to a close. Crimbo making it 1,200, in fact 1,800 with the MP9. The run and gun working to success. 14-13. Big are ahead, despite a brilliant start, by the way. Remember it from the T side. You know, it was 7-2 up at one point. You know, they had such a clear gap, such a clear lead. Just not meant to be. At the
7-2 and 9-3.
Sure. Yeah, 9-6. You say 9-3 at one point. It looked unbelievable for Heat, but now, the last-ditch effort, their last opportunity, their last chance.
I love God B's mannerisms, man. I mean, obviously the famous
So
God B quote, the famous God B quote is, "Owen, don't go heaven. It's okay. It doesn't matter." But where do you want me? But yeah, I mean, this guy is a legend for sure. I've always been a big fan of his, even when it was his playing days, of course. I mean, you have to remember back to the good old days when he was on NRG, for goodness sake, with some NA boys. It really does go back in the history books. But yeah, he's the perfect man to be a coach. You know, when he puts his fingers in a little sort of OK hand sign and starts making his points, you know that's when you need to listen.
Is it okay for Big? Certainly shouldn't have been close, well, as close as this. A fight basically to the full 90 minutes, the full shebang.
Shebang.
Indeed.
Love that word.
You're welcome. Round 28 could be the penultimate one as well, because Heat are dancing on thin ice in this round financially. I mean, there's what, like $850 combined between them in their back pocket. So lose this one, and you do fear that it is all over. But for Big, I mean, they're not exactly out of the headlights either. 9.6k behind their name. The loss bonus won't be too enticing either. So certainly for both teams, a round win here gives great opportunity to thrive and to possibly take the opening matchup.
It would be a great comeback, and it would consign Heet to another DUST2 defeat. As we said, their form has been a lot more questionable recently than Big's has. Big made the major for a reason, despite all their roster issues, and they always seem to make something happen. When you have a combination of tabseN, IGL, and God Be Coach, I think whatever German roster you put together would probably find results at some point for this squad. So impressive. But Heet are still in the game. They have a full buy coming in, but now they're running low on utility. They have a smoke and 2 flashes left. Now make that just 1 flash. They're going to take control of long, but Keto, there's no Molotov to flush him out. There is a jump throw Molotov that bounces off the skybox that clears out this position. Keto could be in for a bit of a multi-kill here. There goes Jackson. There's no immediate trade. Free AK-47. Afro's got the bomb. It's a big kill, and he can't make it happen. That's the bomb dropped on long with 20 seconds to go. This round has to be Big's.
Surely that's the way. As you said, the clock continuing to expire. It's body against 4, and unfortunately falls at the second try. tabseN goes, but body, same fate. Dug 6 feet under, and that could be the penultimate time on the server against Big today that he's put to sleep, because it is a hop, skip, and a jump to the finish line now for Big. 1 minute 55, 5 kills the difference, 1 last chance.
Yeah, that was an interesting one from Heet, right? Like, how do you see that round? Because they were just had barely any utility with 20 seconds to go, and then they had the bomb going as a duo toward long against an angle that wasn't cleared out properly. I think they were always destined for failure, I feel like. Macton out toward long, and unfortunately, Jocko trying to spray through the smoke to get the kill, catches the edge of his teammate, and it's a bit of a nightmare.
Spamming away, tabseN. Giving it a go, but in a 3v5, if there is a team that wouldn't back down, it'd be this one on screen that you see. Heet. I mean, Jocko, sure, 5 points of health, but surely there's a way back in. Wiggle room, tapping away, body. So much damage. Look at the HP bars. A Scout and a Galil. I mean, sure, unorthodox, but those are the 2 weapons that look the most feasible in this situation. A HG grenade to put 1 to sleep. A 1v5 for Afro, but the odds don't look all too bad in this scenario. Running through a molly. Down to 44 points of health, and you feel like his chances are well and truly over. Giving it a good run, Heet, but it is just not meant to be in this opening matchup. 45 seconds, and Afro, sooner than that, should meet his demise. A first shot that connects 4, or rather down to 18 points of health for Heet. Sure, the start was good, and it looked very, very promising, but your game, unfortunately, must come to a close. Big are your winners in their opening